Howdy folks, welcome to Bullish on Farming. Today's January 21st, about 8 a.m. first thing, checking on the cows, and we got the bales nice and close to the bush. The cold front come through, it's like minus 20 overnight with wind chill, brings it closer to minus 30, and the winds were pretty violent. So came out yesterday evening. Haven't cleaned up the bales out there yet. They still have more to go. But I could just feel it in my bones that if there's something that I could do, I should probably do it before I go to bed. So I brought a bale out to the pigs, nice fresh bale for them to take cover and put it nice and close to their A-frame shelter. While I had the tractor fired up, I brought out a couple bales and I snugged them up close to this bush. And that would at least take the edge off the windbreak and give them very close access to the bush, which serves as their housing. And there's virtually no wind in that bush because the wind moves, what would that be? Easterly or easternly, however you say it, from west to east. The west side of the bush is on the other side, and so the wind's got to travel all the way through the bush, and you can see how dense it is. And when the cows hang out on this side of the bush, there's basically no wind at all, and that offers as a great windbreak. And then putting the bales on this side, you know, still gives them the open sky, because I don't necessarily just want to drop bales in there. It'd be a bit of a workout, but I also just don't want the residual from the bales in there, unless I had pigs running through it and churning it up in the soil. So nice and close to the bush will work for now. And sure enough, I come out this morning and they're bedded down and half of them are still asleep. And, you know, taking that windbreak away when you're talking minus 30, if you can do it for your cows, it's not a bad thing. Because I've talked before about how these cows have a coat and a thick hide that protects their vital organs, and if they have enough feed, there's no problem in maintaining body temperature and condition. But why not make it a bit easier on them while still keeping them in nature's design? So we do have a big old barn over there. You know, I walk this way. If you've seen the previous videos, you would have seen it before. A long linear barn that used to be a dairy farm, and that extends quite a bit. But I've got sows in there, and I do have an aisle open for the cows, but that's not part of the plan. If we really had to, because of some crazy event, it's good to know we have it. But I feel pretty confident with them out here. And I've mentioned before how, you know, in previous years, I've grazed cover crop with virtually no bush, with a much larger herd, and the cattle were fine. Mind you, those were all mature cows. We weren't running calves with them because they were weaned by that point. But anyway, we got a year-round herd here. 3 generations with the mums, yearlings, and calves. Or I guess you could call them stalkers because they're past yearlings, whatever you want to call them. And so because of that, we go straight through and finishing the beef in the group, and we don't really isolate unless it's the bull. But even then, we trust that if the bull has... I rented a bull this year, so he's not with the group anymore. So I don't know. We don't really have to get into that. But if a bull is bred and you trust it, you can keep him in year-round, because you shouldn't really have any birth dates or when you're not desiring it, whether that be an early or a late birth. So yeah, this is something that we did, bright and squirrely. You got to see how the cows were using it, and they always like to bed down on the hay. So although they would be in the bush and they could bed down, by putting a fresh bale last night, they get to bed down on dry hay, so even better. And you know, it's not like we're solid minus 30 all season. It just comes in these stints. And so during those stints, we might step up and do a little something extra for our cows. And some of you might be looking and saying, something extra? You just put out a bale. Well, sometimes just putting out a bale makes a big difference. Because right now, what's out there is, you can't see it from the camera, but it's just these residual piles, right? And the cow's got to walk out there and work super hard with the windbreak, or sorry, with the wind chill on them, just to get that residual hay, which is kind of getting close to the last pickings. When you bring out a fresh bale of hay, they get those fresh, big bunching bites of dry, green hay, and close to the bush. You take away that wind chill. You're talking about completely changing the dynamic that takes the edge off of what might be contributing to the harshest part of what they have to endure over a 24-hour period. And that makes a big difference. But calm morning now, and the sun's just gorgeous. So I'm going to keep this one quick. Got more chores to get through. I'd like to say thanks for stopping by, and God bless you all. We'll see you on the next one.